This is the plaintiff, John White. He says he took out a loan for an apartment he and the defendant, his ex-girlfriend, rented. And they made a deal. She would pay him back and split all the apartment expenses 50-50. Turns out the defendant was sneaking around with her ex-boyfriend. He moved out, and now she won't pay him back the $3,015.44 she owes him. That's why he's suing her today. This is the defendant, Shannon Dubicki. She says the plaintiff's a violent man who pinned her hands behind her back. The cops were called and there was nothing but drama with this guy, so they split up. She doesn't owe him any money for the loan he took out because he used most of that money to pay his personal bills. If anyone's owed money here today, it's not him. He's gonna be sorry he even filed this lawsuit because now she's gonna go after him for money he owes her. She's accused of not splitting things. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for rent and car payments.
All parties, please get your right hand. You see to come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. John White, you're suing your former girlfriend, Shannon Dubicki, for $3,015.44. You say she owes you during the time that you lived together and refuses to repay you. You have a counterclaim against him for $5,000 for rent after he left and for a car of his you used to drive and now you can't. So now you want $4,000 because of that. All right. How'd you meet?
Online.
Online. Yeah. How soon did you move in together?
Move in probably about 6 or 7 months after that.
All right. So you guys move in together October 2017. And what happens?
Around, I want to say around Thanksgiving, things started going south.
That quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things were good when we first moved in. It was all good. I took out a loan for $4,000.
What for?
So that we can get the apartment. It was for first month security deposit and things we needed. At the time, our kids were going to school, so I also got that too. So they needed like book bags, pencils, paper, everything they needed.
How old are your kids?
17 and 9.
17 and 9. Whose name is tattooed on your arm?
My little ones. The other one's on my back.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure you were treating them fairly and that it wasn't some ex-boyfriend. Because, boy, would that be regret.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
At the time, what went south is we were sitting on the couch one day, and we were just playing Yahtzee on our phones, just normal stuff. When we got together, I said, I don't want your boyfriend around or your ex-boyfriend around, none of that. And his face popped up from the...
Is that the father of one of the children?
No.
Okay.
His face popped up on her phone. I was like, what was that? And then she swiped it real quick, and then we started fighting, and then after that, it just went south.
Did she show it to you and tell you what it was?
She told me later, but she didn't show it to me.
You didn't say, let me see that?
I did.
And she wouldn't show it to you?
No.
And then?
And then Thanksgiving came, and I found out she was going to his house while I went to my parents' house to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I just kept it hush, and then around Christmas time, she ran off. We got in a fight. She ran off to his house, disappeared, and was
Okay, so you guys
gone.
break up. And
Yeah.
when do you break up?
December.
Okay, but you continue to live there?
Yes.
How many months did you continue to live there?
Till March, end of March.
Okay, so you're broken up, you're back with your ex, but you're still living in the same place because you have a lease together.
Right.
So how does it come to a head that you end up leaving?
Oh, we got in a fight over the car.
Tell me about the car arrangement between you two.
The car arrangement was I had a truck that broke down, and I ended up buying a Ford F-150.
Okay, so the Ford was in whose name?
Technically, it wasn't in anyone's name yet because I didn't fill out the title.
Whose was the title's? Okay, so nobody's name. You bought it and you didn't register it. Why?
Because I didn't have the money to. It was just parked and sitting in the driveway.
Okay.
And we were sharing the car. So
So there's another car, which is a Nissan Altima, which
Yes.
belongs to whom?
Me.
Okay. And is it in your name?
It is.
All right. And what happens?
What happens is she takes off for work one day after we got in a fight, and she was in a screaming match with me through text, telling me to get out. I don't want to see you. So I said, I will. I just need my car. So she disappears. Me and my sister meet up at her ex-husband's house where we find it. I call the cops so that the cops would come and see it, get the paperwork. They gave me the car. Went home. They told me to leave for the night. And during that night, she stole the title to my truck, signed it to herself, and I was forced to give my key over to that.
So you're suing for $2,000, the half of the loan that you took out, since it was all spent on the house, and according to you, it's 50-50. And you're also suing for half of the cable bill and half of the utility.
Yes.
So now you have a counterclaim against him for rent from April through October. You're living there now with the new guy?
No, I'm living there by myself.
You're living there by yourself?
Just me and my son.
But you agree you kicked him out?
He made it unlivable.
If you kick him out, how are you suing him for rent?
Well, because he never contacted the landlord to get himself taken off the lease.
Landlord's not going to agree to that. If I'm a landlord and I can sue 2 people for rent if they stop paying, why would I agree to only sue 1 person
Well,
for rent?
I can't sublet it.
That's the lease you kicked him out of. You told the police, I don't want him here, and then he left, and then how is it that you would ever be entitled to get rent? You're also suing for the Altima, $4,000 for the Nissan that is in his name.
Right.
Tell me about that.
He basically begged me to take over car payments on the Altima because, for one, he had perfect credit, so he didn't want to ruin his credit by having a voluntary repo on his credit. So I had a truck of my own that I sold to take over payments on the Altima.
Okay.
So when I first got the Altima, I went down and I gave the loan company $1,500. And then every 2 weeks, $185 and change was coming out of my paycheck. Until September, when he had the car repoed from me. He had it taken in the middle of the night.
So you were paying the car payment throughout that whole time?
Throughout the whole time, and he had the car taken from me.
Okay. Did she put $1,500 down on the car?
She did.
And then was she making the payments? Did you guys have an agreement about what would happen to the car if you 2 broke up?
I was supposed to get it.
Do you have that in writing?
I do have something in writing.
Okay, show me that. So did you make any car payments after September?
Not to the company,
To who?
to him.
Okay,
No.
so you kept making car payments.
Not all of them, though, because we were sharing the car. His truck broke down, and the car was the only vehicle
But
that
then
we
how does
had.
that affect this little agreement between you guys about who gets the car?
I'm not
Yeah,
really
because
sure.
everything's gonna work out. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What? Were you stepping out on this man with your ex?
No, we split up long before he said. We split up in like the beginning of November.
Now let's talk about your lawsuit against her.
Okay.
You claim that she has to pay $2,000 of the $4,000 loan because you spent it all on household things.
Yes.
You acknowledge that it's 50-50 for the rent and the security, so that would be a total of $1,000, and that the rest of that loan he used to pay his own stuff. That's what you said.
Yeah, there
right?
was like $1,200. I don't even know where it went.
Okay. What ends up happening with violence that was the last straw there?
When he came to take the car away, he held my hands behind my back so his sister could hit me.
Did she?
Oh yeah,
Did you call the cops?
they did.
And did the police come? Mm-hmm. Was anybody arrested?
No,
What happened when the police came?
they just took the car away from me.
Because it was in his name.
Right,
And then next thing you know, the truck is in your name.
right. The truck was always in my name.
You say that's not true.
Because
that
when-
she ran and got the title and put it in her name when she lost the car.
Yeah,
Because
pretty
when
much.
we-
We never touched the title at all. We
Because
just put it
here's
on my
what I'm trying to.
nightstand.
Why would he be that magnanimous when he's such a jerk? Why would I believe that he signed the title over to you on the truck?
Well, because
I wouldn't
when
believe that
when we
because
started the
he's not
relationship,
that kind of guy.
When we started the relationship, we both had a vehicle.
Yeah, I get that, but why wouldn't he then just sign the title of the Altima over to you because you're supposed to have it? Why would he sign the
Because
truck?
then he wouldn't have anything to take away from me. The truck didn't even start. The truck didn't
Exactly.
even run.
So why would he sign over the title of the truck to you?
It was discussed to me and that it was going to be in my name. He had taxes that he owed on the Altima. The truck was always supposed to be in my name from the
Was the
minute
truck
we
always
got it
supposed to
home.
be in her name?
No.
When did the police come to when did he come to pick up the truck?
He didn't come to pick up the truck. They
How
wouldn't let him
did
take
you ever
it.
go pick up the truck?
I tried to. She took the title. She showed the cops because she called the cops and wouldn't let me in to get my stuff. And
Okay,
then
so
she
he did
showed-
come to pick up the truck.
And then she showed the title of it, and they forced me to give her the key
And that's how long after the thing with the Altima happened?
the next day. I have the
You gotta
bill of
admit the
sale right
timing's a
here.
little suspicious.
I have the bill of sale right here.
What's the total that you put into the Altima? Do you know?
I have no idea.
You didn't bother to sit down and figure it out before we came?
I didn't.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Do you check your significant other's phone?
I check my significant other's phone all the time because I don't trust my significant other. I don't know, they could be cheap.
Why are you with that person?
I don't know, they look good.
Wow. Okay. Ma'am?
No, trust. You have to have trust.
You have to have trust. Who's going to be the deal breaker? It looks like you.
Honestly, they should
Honestly.
they should be checking my phone if I'm being completely honest. So I would be checking their phone.
Wait, is she with you?
No.
Oh, good. Don't be with him. Going inside the courtroom.
What's the total that she put into the Ultima? Do you know?
Not really off the top of my head, maybe like 18.
How many months was the 188 coming out of your paycheck?
Probably about 400 a month.
From when to when?
About 5 months, from April until September.
According to what you are saying, if you're accurate, you end up putting a bunch of money into this car. It's $1,500 plus the additional. You guys aren't very precise, but because you guys, you're not detail people, but you expect my verdict to be very detailed, right? You live your lives with this messy flow, and then you expect judges to be in the position of separating the pots and pans of your relationship. And it's very, very difficult. It's almost impossible. You got to drive the car for almost a year, except for the times that he yanked it from you. So it's $9 a day, which is generously what that turns out to. Is that appropriate? Or should you be getting something else back? You want me to enforce this and make him pay you $4 grand, but I'm not going to enforce this because you didn't enforce this. You didn't keep making the payments on it. So you're not entitled to the title on it, and you're not entitled to $4 grand. You guys didn't foresee what would happen if things broke up between you two, and that's why you can't continue to make the payments. But you can't prove a single payment after January. So you breached this agreement first. I can't enforce this. On your lawsuit against her, I'm going to order her to pay you $1,000 for the security deposit, which she's still enjoying, and for the first month's rent, which she didn't pay. As for the cable bill and utility bill, you say you shouldn't pay the cable bill because he then withdrew his love and put the merchandise inside his room. Is that accurate?
That, and I was buying all the food, and I had the oil. I had the oil tank filled up like
Okay,
3 or 4
doing this.
times.
I'm not separating who owes cable anyway. And my defense is he owes oil. I had to put the oil. We're not doing this. I'm going to order her to pay. And here's where the problem you have, sweetie. I believe that you signed your name on this after he took the Ultima. You want to just return the truck? Where's the truck?
Scrapyard.
Did you get a salvage fee for that?
Yeah, like $200.
Good for you. All right, I'm going to order you to repay him $1,600 on his lawsuit against you, and on your counterclaim against him, $0. Good luck, folks.
Well, after the end of this very messy relationship, the plaintiff does recover some $1,600. What do you think?
It is what it is. It's over now.
It was a mess.
It still is a mess.
And it still is a mess. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
You must sign a few documents outside, Mr. White. I guess you're glad this is over, aren't you?
Absolutely.
I bet both of you are glad it's
Yes.
over. What a mess.
Yes, it is. I'm just glad to get out and be done and moving on.
You learn anything from all of this?
Yeah, don't date a girl at all. Just stay.
no girls,
No,
right?
just stay single the rest of your life.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Okay, Harvey, what do you think?
Doug, it's pretty simple. You can never, ever, ever defend a suit where you're being sued for non-payment of a loan by saying, well, I did other stuff for that person. Other stuff for that person doesn't cut it because it's after the fact. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.